Can y'all hear me?
Tony here, my bro here. Okay, I know Zoe about to come in. Let me see. So, Zoe here, my brother here.
What up, bro?
I had this muted real quick. What's up, bro? I know my brother here, Tony here. I'm about to make sure and remind other people to jump in the Zoom. Let me see. Pops.
I'm gonna send this link out to people too.
Yeah, I'm about to put that link up too. Wait for Pops to jump on.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Tony.
Okay.
I know it's myself right now. I know my brother up here. It's me and Zoe right now. Zoe and I.
Yo,
So we
yo.
both for the we
You
both
got
for the mental
You
health
got
coaches.
TJ. You got TJ
Okay.
Ely.
Okay, that's our athlete right there and his family. It's one of our players right there.
What's up, TJ?
Bill talked you into taking her to school this morning?
All right. I just sent it. I just told Pops to come on because he's gonna be our moderator. So just give me 1 second, making sure everybody can jump in.
Camera.
Can you plug your charger?
There we go. See, he ain't there.
What's mine here?
Oh, who's Kendall? Okay. Hey, Coach High.
Yeah, turn on.
Yeah, we got unmute, but Kendall is my brother.
I'm about to unmute. I'm about to unmute.
You got to mute up real quick. Mute
Yo,
up real
yo.
quick until mute up real quick, bro.
All right, all
Until
right,
Pops, I get everybody situated in here.
all right. Peace, y'all.
All right, y'all. Welcome everybody in. I know a few more people are still coming in, but our moderator is here, Randy, so he has the script. So what we're gonna do is at 6:30, we'll let him start it off. Everybody can introduce themselves, and then we can go from there. I want you to just let everybody know what we're doing as far as just the introduction to kick it off, Pops, and then we can literally let everybody introduce themselves and we could just go from there. The purpose of tonight is literally just to start engaging in conversations, being as though we live in an era where content is king. That we can literally have different perspectives with solutions. A
Yes.
lot of us work in this field as far as sports, high school, or being parents. But just being a citizen of the United States of today, you just see the gun violence, the violence in itself in high school, and the lack of emotional intelligence, the outlets, you know what I mean, for kids, for young men and young women to calm themselves down and make better decisions. So we had did one with CHKD, and they were literally just talking about college and professional. But we have to nip these problems in the bud at an earlier time before they get developed into being adults and not being able to handle it, in which we're seeing as being adults. You know what I'm saying? So literally want to have a relaxed but fruitful conversation. Everybody that is here, we respect in their field. Everybody does some form or some fashion mental health coaching or some type of mentorship and guiding of our next generation. So we literally just want to come up here and start our first platform and just keep them going. So with that being said, I am Samaj Callahan Bay. I am a mental health coach over at Green Run High School with the football, basketball, and lacrosse team. And I'm just thankful that you all are here and are able to, give anything productive that we can use, resourceful for our players and our community.
Mm-hmm.
So it's on you, Pops. You could kick this thing off and let's get this thing rolling.
All right. So, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for coming out. This evening. It's kind of nice where I'm at, but I know the weather's probably better as where you at. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Randy Pops Millard. I'm a Norfolk State graduate. I see a lot of alums up here. I see a bunch of people from the 757 who I used to interact with. Currently, right now, I am a social media manager and events coordinator for a basketball platform called NYC Prospects, where we cover elementary school through college basketball in the 5 boroughs and within the tri-state area. We've done events at the Barclays Center, Wells Fargo, the Prudential Center, and we currently sent over 50 kids to college institutions from D1 all the way down to NAIA. All right. So the first thing that I would love for everyone to do is to, introduce yourself, first name, last name, where you from, and most importantly, your job as of right now. All right. Anybody can kick it off.
I'll go.
Let's go. Candelia, you start. Go ahead.
Mhm.
All right. My name is Lorenzo High. Also a mental health coach with Green Run football, basketball, lacrosse. Also a mental health counselor with Growth with a Purpose Family Services. And thank you all. I just want to say thank you all for just making the time. I know y'all have some busy schedules. We got some heavy hitters here tonight. So I'm just happy and I'm grateful just for everyone being on the call, and I'm ready to soak up this wisdom and just
Mhm.
continue to try to make a difference and help anybody in any way we can. I'm just ready to continue to help and looking forward to the information that's shared tonight. So thank you.
Perfect.
I'm Larry Obama. I'm a sports writer for the Virginia Pilot. Been in the business for over 30 years, both here in Hampton Roads as well as in Indiana and New York.
Okay.
Just trying to help out. Been writing about kids from high school, professional, college, and just always trying to help out. Trying to help out.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Mr. Rubama is very modest. He's very modest, but man, being a mental health coach over at Green Run, but coming up through that high school circuit with Bayside and graduating and going to Norfolk State, man, I'm very thankful to have Mr. Rubama up here, man, because he's watched so many of us, go through the circuit, turn into men, be it good,
Mhm.
bad, ugly, and different. So it's very powerful to have him up here and just have his wisdom and his experience, because he's the one who could help us, with social media etiquette and with how to deal
Right.
with yourself in the media and protecting, our next generation. So that's the main reason why, he's up here, beyond just, he's a Hall of Famer, man. My man does great work. And, we just, we need more brothers in our community, what I'm saying, from different walks of life. So he's
Mhm.
very modest, but I'm thankful for him being here, man. Go ahead.
Perfect.
All right, how y'all doing? I'm Travis Jones, originally from Newport News, Virginia, residing in Richmond, Virginia. I'm
Okay.
the co-founder of SW3 Sports, a media marketing agency. I'm also an NIL coach, and my mission is just to enrich, empower, and educate the youth through not only financial literacy, but utilizing sports as a leverage as to help the youth and development, and that's really what I'm big in. And just a pleasure to be here. I appreciate y'all. Really big on the importance of mental health and sports. So I love that I'm a part of this conversation. So again, just much gratitude to everybody here.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
I'm Terrence Ely Jr., 10th grade student and athlete at Green Run High School, and I'm here with my parents.
You in 10th grade?
Yes, sir.
Sheesh. I remember when I was in 10th grade, I was 160.
I'm Kendall Callahan. I'm the brother of Samaj.
Mhm.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm just me, man. I'm blessed to be here, man. I see some of my old heads in here, man.
Yo,
Zoe,
stop,
what's
yo.
up? Hey, Pops, what's up, Pops?
What's up, Kendall? How you
It,
been, my
it, it
boy?
brings tears to my eyes because I ain't seen y'all dudes in a minute, and Pops got the locks. Hey,
Yeah.
this is a blessing to be here, man. I don't really have you know what I mean? I'm so humble, man. Like you won't
Mhm.
really hear me say too much. But Zoe, Mr. Larry, I know Mr. Larry. You know what I mean? But it's an honor to be here. And young brother, man, we appreciate you. You hear me?
Yes.
But yeah, I'm Kendall Callahan, man. I'm out here. You know what I mean? I'm a trainer.
Mhm.
I'm one of the mental health patients. You know, I've been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress. I got a lot of issues. I've been through hell and back, you know what I mean? But through the
Yeah.
support of my family, my brothers, my friends, the community that I grew up in. I'm from Virginia Beach. I went to Bayside. Um, I fell a victim, but I'm a man, so I made the decisions on my own. I don't fault. I don't fault my people that I looked up to, like my brother. You know, we from the same household, same community, man. We just chose two different paths. But I'm blessed to be here to talk about it and live my life as that testimony, because I ain't ashamed of it.
Yes, man. And it's great seeing you too, man.
No
It's really
question,
great
man.
seeing you. Really great seeing you, man. Word.
Dude, what's up, everybody? My name Mike Tyson. I'm originally from Norfolk, Virginia, but I reside out here in Houston, Texas. I went to Lake Taylor High School. I played in the NFL for 2 years. Got hurt right before COVID. Got a mental health facility where center. Got my own cleaning business. Yeah, entrepreneur. I'm just here to, spread the word of the importance of mental health and be an advocate and show these kids, you know what I'm saying, you can make it out here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm just humbled, like he said, like to be here, and I appreciate everybody for being on this call. What's good, so? How y'all boys doing? You know
All
what I'm
right.
saying? Yeah, I appreciate everybody for being on this call, though. So, cut on my camera.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Donovan Cotton. I'm a Norfolk State graduate. I've been, well, as far as my job, I'm assistant pro director for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've been in the NFL 14 years, Super Bowl champion. In terms of, as of right now, I'm responsible just for everything team building with the Bucs, right? I mean, could be free agency, could be trades, could be, poaching players from practice squads. I was a college scout for 10 years, meaning like I go to Texas, LSU, learn about these kids, right? So like, really understand the context and the background in terms of preparation for the draft. So, just really seeing it firsthand all across the country, the need for something like this is real. And, at the same time, I'm trying to build Super Bowl winning teams, but help my young brothers out at the same time too. Seeing them, in different situations. And, I grew up, a little bit in Florida, a little bit in Virginia, and bad news, went to Norfolk State. So, I understand just, everyone's not millionaires in the league. It just, life happens, man. Like, just along the way. So yeah, that's me. But Pops, I ain't seen you in a minute. My guy Zoe hit me up. I had to get on here with you guys, man. So
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
being here with you guys, man.
And the great thing about you, D Cotton, is, and just with everyone, man, I'm proud of everybody. Even though I just met you, I'm proud of you, because at the end of the day, we could be doing something that doesn't make sense right now. And especially in the space of mental health, right? Us being, African American men of color, we can help each other out. So I just challenge everyone, after this call, to keep in touch, interact, use social media as a space where, we could promote one another. Because at the end of the day, one share, it could turn into another share, and it could turn into something.
That's a fact. That's a
Yeah.
fact. That's a fact.
So
Yeah, it's popping.
So is there anybody else who want to introduce themselves?
My name
Coach
is Eric.
James.
Okay.
My name is Eric James. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I want to say thank God to be able to see my extended family. It's good to see people up here on one accord. I am a A&T grad, Aggie Pride, class of 96. My path was a little different. I marched in the band 4 years, so I did a lot of traveling, playing against A&M and Grambling and all those other schools. I was in the stands while the guys was playing football.
Right.
So I'm a child psychology major. A baby of 12 kids from Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Same mama, same daddy. This field chose me. I didn't choose it. This is my calling. And after growing up and being around kids and realizing that they didn't get the same kind of home training and raising that I did, empathy set on me at the age of about 25, 26, and realizing that kids didn't have the things they needed. And we have a lot of expectations of them, but they don't have the basic stuff at home. And,
Right.
I'm 52 now. I feel like I'm 30. The Bible says be childlike. That means, we have to have full of energy. Kids need to be around somebody who's excited about their lives. And kids are watching what we do. And it hit me real hard when I worked in the school system for about 15 years. And when kids start calling me dad in the hallway, that hit me real different. And I'm not their biological dad, but I didn't tell them different. If you want me to be dad, that's what I'm gonna be. But I have expectations for you. So I realize the kids, if you got stuff at home, you don't really reach out for it when you're out in the community. But when kids get locked in onto you, man, they want what you have. So it's a blessing to be able to serve the community. I realize we're not on this planet forever, and we're not going to be here forever. But while we're here, we got to give it to them, man. We cannot be generational thieves. So we have to give them everything that was passed down to us, to them. And they got to go pay it forward. So a couple guys I coached, Tavion Robinson, who got drafted by Baltimore.
Okay.
Carolina Panthers now. And one of my huge success stories, Bobby Price, who I had him in middle school at Lynn Haven. And mind you, I didn't play football, but I had to learn the game and learn the X's and O's and get on the people that knew they were doing. And the kids have a dream, you just got to go with it. They want to do it, then push them, fit in, get in where you fit in. And Bobby went from Lynn Haven to FC, to Bishop Sullivan, to Sullivan to NSU. He was undrafted to Detroit. I followed him to Detroit. Then he went to Arizona. Now he's a Commander fan. I mean, I'm sorry, he's on the Commanders. He's number 37. So when I see that happen, man, it's like, who's next? So it's great to be able to be around people who are from different walks of life who are trying to do the same thing. So there's strength in numbers. So I thank y'all. I love you, and you can't do nothing about it.
Okay. All right. So is there anyone else who we missed? Is there anybody else? Is there any latecomers? Samaj?
No, I think we good, man. I'm Samaj Callahan Bay. I think to a lot of people, just Cali, you know what I'm saying? I do a lot, bro, but I'll just boil it down to I'm just somebody who literally cares. You know what I'm saying? I literally care. I played football. I did events. I do everything in the holistic health field now. But I didn't want to jump back in and coach football at all. I wanted the brotherhood. I wanted the fellowship. But I literally want to help the next generation find solutions, man. Find ways to combat conflict. Find ways to talk. Just literally communicate. I want to build. I literally want to build better men. They say we don't have enough fathers in the household. I get everything negative that they're saying. So a big part of starting these phone calls and just linking up with you guys, I met Mike Tyson through Zoe. I still can't wait to just sit down and meet like in the physical. But just with the stuff that's going on with Norfolk State, I'm just a concerned copper colored brother, man, that's concerned for our next generation because we just lost 6-7 people this year at Norfolk State, and it was all from health. It was all from health. So we had 6 people with cancer and one of a heart attack. But if you, like I said, man, you cut on the news, the TV right now, and young fellas, man, with these AKs and these daggone ARs, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? And if they can talk to men and women that are accessible. That's the main thing that I want to do. Like we said when we started this call, I just want to give options because everybody's way it don't work. Every kid is not comfortable with my way. Every kid ain't comfortable with Coach James. But if you give, ultimately different options, and if you expose young men and young women to different things, you know what I'm saying, you can get different outcomes. So although, you know what I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, author, all those things, literally, I'm a mental health coach and advocate because it literally, man, they wiping us out. You know what I mean? They wiping our brains out between this food and all this technology, the stuff that they feed in our minds, man. We have to combat it. So I'm just somebody who's here to cheer and use my platforms to literally bring people who are passionate about this subject together.
Right. So
I'm on the road now from Green Run.
so if all the introductions are done, we're going to kick it off with some topics. The first topic is mental health and emotional well-being. TJ, this question is for.
Excuse me, Pop.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Mrs. Hyde just joined. I want to let her introduce herself really quick, and then I'll be out your way.
It's okay. It's okay. Hi, Ms. Hyde. How you doing?
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Kirsten High. I'm a licensed professional counselor.
Oh,
I've been
perfect.
counseling for the last 25 years. I work with the youth and adults, and I really love what I do. Thank you all for having me on the panel, and I'll just be here in case anyone has any questions or anything that they like to ask. I'm available as it relates to mental health.
Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you so much for your attendance. So, how about we kick off these topics? TJ, even though you're the only student athlete in here, a lot of the questions I may ask you to ask first, and this is the first one. All right. What are the most common mental health challenges high school athletes face today? I know the question is broad and it's general, but how about we talk about you in a sense?
And I don't face really too much, but like as an athlete, most of the time it's self thoughts. Like I could be doing better. I'm not doing enough. Things of that nature, or like you feeling you being overlooked, but that doesn't mean nothing but work harder. To me, I just face those self thoughts.
And now, so that's for my coaches. I know when I was coaching junior college basketball, I used to see a lot of my student athletes get this thing where is that, as TJ just mentioned, I'm not doing enough. What's my role? So coaches, so what are some things that you do to help out your student athletes when they have the most common mental health challenges about about their role, about them trying to be that perfectionist, about them just trying to be that high level athlete?
I'll jump in first. You know what I'm saying? Don't be shy up here, fellas. I
Don't
talk
be
to a lot of
shy.
y'all. Don't be shy. But literally, man, that's why we became mental health coaches, because you know how you see a interception thrown or a blown play, young man might come to the sideline, get ready to toss that helmet. We're literally there to catch you before you mess up your future. Don't let this one emotional moment mess up your future. You can see somebody shrugging their shoulders, flagging the head coach down, flagging down their position coach. So what we do is we got this little thing where we go. We don't want to embarrass you, so we get shoulder to shoulder. Yo, walk with me. Come take a mental health mile. Come take a mental mile with me. And we literally walk. When we walk down, it's kind of like when you see Deion Sanders and Shador walk down. When we walk down, you can get out all of that. Get it all out. Get it all out. I can't stand that referee. Can't stand that coach. Can't stand this, that, and the third. Okay, cool. That was the way on the way down. On the way back, that's gone. What are we doing now for the next play? What are we doing now for the next series? As far as like being honest, just having open conversations, as far as like we got some players who have asthma, some players who have prone to concussions. So that's another reason why I'm there. Like I look, we got lion's mane, we got reishi mushroom, we got ginkgo biloba, we got certain herbs in which we could talk to your parents. I could whip you up some sea moss. I could whip you up these different things, and you could literally utilize them. But we're literally there to put the fires out before it becomes embarrassing to the team. You know what I'm saying? Where somebody in the stands can look and see like, yo, there's a discrepancy going on down there. We trying to prevent that because we played the game, and it's an emotional game. And if you can't be controlling your emotions, bro, it goes from you being a star athlete to being one of the coach's favorite to possibly losing your scholarship that night to possibly not playing at all. So we literally just try to diffuse that, hear you, listen to you, because you have feelings. So you have a right to express your feelings. You ain't like what was going on, but we do have to give you the reality, bro. And a lot of us been right where you are. So to be reprimanded, to be chastised, it's a part of the game. But we preach like, yo, you're a young man. So go talk to your coach in the right setting. Don't do it out here in front of everybody though. But your coach got an office, bro. You're a human being. Like, this is not the tyranny stage. This is not the monarchy stage. This is respect my coach because he is the coach, whatever. But I have a voice. So we try to definitely preach controlling yourself, but open communication. Yo, talk to him like this. You know what I mean? Go in there like a young man. You want respect. You want somebody to hear you. Talk to him like you got some sense, and just let them know. Voice and be open to response.
I like to piggyback on that. When I cover games, I'm on the sideline, except for if I'm covering a college game. And I can't tell you how many times a college coach will come to me and see a kid have a blow up on the sideline. And especially, how I say it, a white coach will automatically down the black kids. And so, my thing is, a lot of times when I'm talking to kids, I talk to them about, hey, keep it controlled, be controlled about this, because one stupid incident can ruin your chances of getting a scholarship. For a lot of us being black, you don't get a second chance. You get one chance to act up, and then you get blackballed. People start talking about you to other coaches, and next thing you know, you had one bad situation, and that whole thing is blown out of proportion, and then that ends up following you the whole time. I mean, I've been to schools where a kid is transferred to another school, and the first thing the coach says, "Oh yeah, man, he's got a bad attitude." You don't know that kid. You don't know what that kid was going through. You don't know if that kid may have not eaten that night. You don't know if that kid has a situation where he's seen his father strangle his mother. You don't know what the kid's going on. But a lot of white coaches aren't going to give a black kid an opportunity to do that. The other thing I noticed too is, especially TJ, you're an incredible runner, man. I love watching you too, man. Keep it up and keep that attitude you got, man. You got a desire to play ball. You got a desire to keep playing, keep them grades up, and keep persevering.
Thank you.
I just want to piggyback one time off that. I'm not a coach, right? But I consider myself a fitness coach because I work with people. But I'm just gonna go off the examples that I just grew up on with my brother in our household and the things that we was challenged about. And I'm gonna say this because this is just directed to TJ. The answer that you said when Pops asked you, how do you get affected? That just lets me know that you're around the right coaching system. That's for one, right? But you got a level head and you're ahead of your time, bro, to make your own decisions the smart way. That means you got a good household. That's for one. So we commend your parents. We commend your coaches because that's your extended family. That's your extended parent. Because at school, those guys don't have to be your guardian. They don't have to look after you. But they setting aside your day. I set aside my day for stuff like this. Like, other than that, if it ain't work, I'm not trying to be involved. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, I was at y'all first game last year, and I seen what y'all witnessed on the first game versus Kinsville, bro. For you to have the mentality that you have, bro, somebody's going to follow you. So always do the right thing and hold your integrity because somebody's always watching. Bro, when I got locked up, I did 10 years in federal penitentiary, and it didn't hit me, right, until I realized all the people I affected. It crushed my main one, my number one, my roommate, the person I slept with every day. Like, me and my brother been in the same room all the way up until we was 16 and 17. Yeah, we did it all together. So yeah, so bro, just keep doing what you're doing, bro, because that's a hell of an answer that you gave, and it was honest.
Yes, sir.
Is there any more answers for that question?
Yes, I actually like to add to that a little bit too, because coming from the social media side and the NIL side, it's something I call real trap. Especially on social media, we show the wins, but a lot of times the athletes or student athletes really don't talk about or show that wear and tear that happens on the mind, things that they're going through during the week. And going back to what TJ said as well, as human beings, sometimes we compare ourselves. And in the social media world or the NIL world, whether it's followers, whether it's offers, whether it's deals, that exposure, can sometimes lead to burnout, self-doubt, and emotional fatigue. So that's why, mental health is very important, especially now that these young athletes with this new NIL world that we know about that's here, it's very important to say, they're brands, they're six-figure brands now some in high school, depending on your state, middle school, depending on your state. So as an agent and as a marketer, we must humanize their stories and not just monetize them, right? And that's where I'm coming from with my lens, as their NIL coach and mentor, and also social media marketer. So always keep that in mind. I say practice OQP, which means only quality people. You can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. It's important sometimes because a lot of times we're trying to get to day 2, and it's some of our day 1s that we really got to let go, right? And I think that's so important. And I think the conversations needs to be had. And that's just what I wanted to add to that, from my lens.
And your answer and your statement was amazing, which honestly leads to our next question. How does social media play a role in shaping an athlete's mental well-being? And I'm gonna kick it off because as a mass comm major and currently a social media manager and events coordinator for a basketball multimedia platform, I see a lot of student athletes, especially in our tri-state area. They send us DMs, oh, post this, post that, post this. And if they're not getting enough tractions, enough likes, enough shares and resend, they feel like I didn't make it. And when you see the kid in person, you like, yo, I like your highlight reel. I like your clip, but I have to watch you in person. And and the thing about social media is it gives a lot of student athletes that escape from reality in a sense. And this is where our platform, we create and foster relationships with student athletes, coaches, AAU programs, even NIL agents, pro coaches, and even pro athletes, where we're kind of in the state of trying to create like a mentorship with our New York City pros, with our high school students, even with our elementary and as middle school students. So if anyone would love to answer that question, jump right in.
This is Coach James, the Aggie.
Behold.
I'm sorry. Bow down. Anyway, but look, since you said that, Randy, I want to say this. My first exposure to HBCU was Elizabeth City State, and Norfolk State used to come when y'all was in the before you got to the MEAC, you was in CIAA. I don't know if that was your time or not. So y'all used to come and bully Elizabeth City State. So I went to A&T so we can get a little payback. But I look at HBCUs different now, Randy, because back then when I was, again, I'm a bandit. I used to march against NSU, Florida A&M, Grambling State, all of that. I want to kick our head off. I don't look at, I'm very different now. I support NSU because, it's different. I think differently, especially learning our history now. So I will say, behold the green and gold. I got you. That's the good competition, but now I can talk about you, but nobody else can. How about that? So I want to say this with the social media, especially with TJ listening. TJ, we didn't have the World Wide Web back then. So we didn't have social media, so there was no pressure. And I always say with this, if you're good, they will find you. Okay. So with the social media, our kids do not have an identity. We have an identity crisis.
Yes.
So what happens is social media, it's just a huge distraction. I call it the enemy. People use it for good, and then some people get lost in the sauce. TJ, one thing that you have somebody to your left. Look to your left, TJ. Look to your right. You good, okay? You good. I ain't got to worry about that. And you got God-fearing parents. So I'm not worried about you with social media. There's some of these other kids that do not have that identity. So if you don't know who you are, you will look at anything and then you'll try to relate to it, but it's really not you. So, and so even with girls, sports, whatever, whom you are, teenagers growing up, the kids need to know who they are. So when they see other things, they don't just gravitate to anything. Okay, everything that looks good is not good for you. And so with the relationship building with our kids while I'm on the sideline to a brother that's never played football, I watch behavior. I watch how kids act. I watch how they communicate. Relationship building is my specialty. And some of these kids need to know who they are first. So when you watch the news and social media, you do not get distracted. So kids need to help. They need to help somebody. Somebody needs to help them with finding their identity. I've been working out with TJ since he was 8th grade. I watch him how he works. I watch his work ethic. And I didn't before I met his parents, I knew he was from good upbringing just because of how he acted. And some of these other kids, they don't have that. So they flock to social media to try to find whom they are, which that's not good. Sometimes you try to be like somebody you've never met.
Yeah.
You need to, that person needs to be tangible. You know what tangible? Somebody that can shake your hand. So when I'm around kids, I try to talk to them. I have thousands of side conversations that has nothing to do with football. Okay. So when they're off the field, my thing is kids need to be able to talk to somebody who's real, who's tangible, who can help them about reality and explain stuff to them. Because most of these kids, they have no idea what they're watching. So they get led astray. And next thing you know, we're in a bad position. So relationship building is important. When you see social media, you can see it and it help you, but they need to know who they are before they jump, because you're gonna see it, And I'm gonna go a little extra with Mr. Rubamba. The colleges need athletes just as much as athletes need colleges.
Yes.
Y'all know most colleges are not going to win if you don't have this right here. Okay, just let that sink in.
Say it again.
They're not going to win if they don't have this. Okay, and when you was talking about the white coaches are cool, but they still have to build that relationship with that black man. If you came to the hood to get him, when he gets to the university, don't act like you don't know him when he gets an injury. Okay, I know that's probably off the question a little bit, but anyway.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
I'm
No, it's not.
saying because the kids, that as much as you recruit them, they are yours when they get on campus. So when they get in trouble, some of these coaches, these white coaches, don't know who you are anymore. And that's terrible. So if you came down there to see him on Friday, if he gets hurt, go see him when he can no longer play anymore. Still go see him. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
I know when we in our meeting, we get up.
You breaking up, Cal?
Games, and then just like today when we was, working out, just doing workouts, it's conversation. That's why I know myself, I didn't want to be a formal coach or a formal professor or a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things that I'm going to tell your son or your daughter that might get me fired if I was, a regular teacher or professor. But I'm literally going to share the things that they need to know about social media.
Yes.
It could be social media, or you could use it as your business tool. I let each and every one of our players know, whether they listen or not, that you are a business. That's the way any coach, I'm talking about any school, I don't care if it's a HBCU or a PWI, this is a business transaction, right? So you have to protect your brand, which is your last name, with that social media, right? So I monitor social media. I look at our players' stories. I look at the notes, you know what I mean? Because that's what let me know where they head at. Like I can easily see that one of the players is beefing with another player, or they're going through it with their girlfriend, just looking at the notes. You know what I'm saying? And if I can see that, and you're a high school athlete, then another coach can see that. Oh, his head ain't where it need to be. Oh, he over here, or he throwing up gang signs. That's another thing. Smoking weed, putting up the gang signs in the picture, the money. I'm just trying to protect your investment. I literally look at social media, and when we discuss social media, I look at it and tell them like that, because it's bigger. You're different. You're special. You know what I'm saying? You decided to be a student and an athlete. That means you don't just go to school and do what everybody else do. You chose to do extra. So that makes you special. But I try to just emphasize just the business side of this thing. You know what I'm saying? mess up your chances on the business side because they looking at you as a business from 4th, 5th grade nowadays, and even younger. You know what I'm saying? Some of these kids, making 6, 7 figures just opening up boxes, opening up packages. So I literally
Yeah.
try to teach that aspect, like, yo, everybody's not gonna go pro. Check out the guys who just go do open runs. They didn't make it to the NBA, but they're making a professional career out of going city to city using social media. You can also use it. I also tell them use it as a way to go directly to recruiters. Go directly to the recruiting coach. Send them over a formal email. Send them over your huddle film. But you can build relationships like that. Not with the head coach. You ain't got to go at the head coach, but everybody has a department. So you got people who literally recruiting. The phone is only as smart as the user. The social media is only as smart as the user. So I just try to combat it from that side and just let them know, yo, everybody is looking at you. The better you get, the more eyes on you. And over in our program, we win. So somebody is always looking for your downfall. You know what I mean? They looking for you to slip up. That social media could make or break.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
I was
Callie, I
just going to
wanna.
chime in
Oh,
and say, I'm sorry.
It's
I
all right,
was just
Miss
going to
Ha.
say, just to piggyback off of what my brother it's the exact same thing as far as social media being like your business card. Instead of it revealing everything and every aspect about your life, if it can just be, and this could be for you, TJ, and for everyone, if we can use social media as just your business card. Like, I love it when I go to some pages and it's just 10 pictures or maybe 15 pictures, because it's just a snapshot of who you are. It's not all of who you are. So when we put everything on social media, you leave your whole life up for scrutiny, for judgment. You slipping up. I mean, we're emotional people. We're real human beings. So we may post something about a relationship or something about a teacher and not even think twice about it, because we're human. If we view our social media as just a business card and a snapshot of our life, then it's just the title page of your book. For example, when you open a book, you have the illustration, you have the name of the book. That's what your social media can be like. Just the title page of your book. So that way, when they see the highlights and they see the reels, it draws them in to want to know more of who you are instead of everything, your whole book being up there, and they're like, oh, I see them smoking, or are they around someone who's throwing up gang signs, or they're a womanizer or whatever. You just leave yourself open to judgment. So I feel like social media has its place, but it's important for us to make sure that we're sending a positive message and just giving a small snapshot of who we are. And especially in the sports realm, you can have all your highlights and different things up there, which I think is great. However, like Mr. James was saying, make sure you're presenting yourself, you're having tangible examples. You know how to hold a conversation. You know how to shake hands and greet someone. And, you still have those social skills and a level of emotional intelligence, because not everyone is going to receive you positively. So if they don't shake your hand, or if they don't show that they recognize you, it's okay, because I know who I am. It's all right. I'm still great. I'm still smart. I'm still loved. I'm still cared for. It doesn't matter how people receive me. It matters more so how I care for myself and how I receive myself. But I just want to say social media is just a snapshot. Just let it be a snapshot of who we are. I even have some things that I may need to take off my social media. It's not bad, but it's just too much about my life. Like, I got a whole story of when I started on Instagram to now being married with children. I was like, that's too much information. Not everyone needs to know that. Like, let them just see snapshots. So I just wanted to just jump on and just share that.
Thank you so much, Miss Ha. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate that. That's a fact.
So
They build cases off of your social media.
Yeah, they do. Trust me. Especially being a former educator. Just a quick story. Before I indulge into the next question. When I was the director of scholar affairs at a middle school in my neighborhood, it was a big gang war, and the gangs were called Hood Stars and Wave Gang, and it was from two totally different sides of Brownsville. And the 73rd precinct in our neighborhood, they created a social media team where all they did was sit inside the precinct on MacBooks, hacking into accounts. And one of the kids, he played football. He's one of the best football players in New York City. He was in part of like a 35-person indictment. And this kid had Division I scholarships. And when I see him to this day, he was like, yo, I tried to delete it. I said, hey, but they caught it. So that's when Ms. Hodge speaks about, social media and that being your business card and that's your snapshot. It really is. Because the issue comes down to, are you worth this scholarship? And then we have some coaches who are like, it's either you or my job, but that's a whole nother conversation in itself. So the next question I have is for Mike and Donovan especially, Yatu being in the pro ranks in regards to the, in the sport that you are working in. What's the impact of what's the impact of mental health stigma in sports and how can we break it?
I would say from my standpoint of, so, I'll give an example. So we just finished the draft right now. The draft was like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes.
And our college scouts are now starting to watch the players for next year's draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of May, we're already going to have watched all the best players across the country. Now, when we do that, we call the schools, right? And like when I call a school, because I can watch your film and know in about 13 seconds if you have the talent to play in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll stack and rank you later. But 99% of the conversation is, tell me about this kid's character.
Yes.
Tell me when things go wrong. Tell me when things go right. Now players have NIL. Okay, how much is he making? Is he one of the kids who returns to you every month asking for more? Who's he like? It's everything about their life and their context of their life. Speaking of social media, like Callie said, by the way, what up, Cal? You probably don't remember me. I was a freshman when you were a senior on the team.
Oh, I remember you.
Yeah.
Zoe will tell you. I don't forget my brothers.
Okay, cool. Yeah. No, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, you want to be out here? We don't remember you, bro.
Yeah, that's it. But so even right now, our scouting assistants, as soon as I put a grade on a player that we call a draftable grade, meaning he's good enough to be drafted, we get all the social media and we watch it immediately now. Because right now, that kid's in college and he's not thinking about the NFL. He's not got his agent yet. They're not prepping for the draft. So we get the real, authentic, raw stuff. And we've taken players off the board every single year, like, he's not going to be a fit for us. He's not, like, every single year, And, so it's everything. And now every team is different, but we prioritize character more than most teams in the league,
Right.
And a little known fact about the Bucks, we're the second most winningest team this decade. People don't talk about that. Like we're the only team in the NFL and the NFC that's made the playoffs the past 5 years in a row.
Yes.
And we figured out like, well, better people make better players, because life is going to happen. Right? And so we really focus on like, you got to have a baseline talent. Like, we know that. But once that's even, we want the better person because adversity's coming. It's coming in your personal life. It's coming in your professional life. And so, and it's not about being perfect. It's just about because we had tools that we're going to, I'll give you an example. When we drafted Mike Evans in 2014, he's a very emotional guy. I mean, he would take off his helmet mid-practice and throw it and, and we really started, hey, how can we build up his mind to deal with these situations that frustrate him? Because as a kid, he was a big fighter, and I mean, I'm not fighting that guy. He's 6'4" with long arms. Like, you got to be crazy to fight that guy. But now, right, these kids don't even fight anymore. They're just going to shoot you, right? So we want to avoid that type of escalation happening, in the streets on vacation. And so, the character and mental health is everything. And I always approach it like, tell me where this kid is at. Tell me how we got there so I can know how to help him get to where to where he wants to go, And, I always start, I love how Kylie said in the beginning, we all have different ways. For me, reading has always been the game changer because it can
Yes.
prepare your mind for situations that we just physically can't always live, but it can give you example after example, positive and negative. Every success story that you ever read, heck, it's for TJ. Any person that you look up to in the world, if they have succeeded, they've been through adversity, right? So when you read their story, you're going to get some type of lesson on, hey, I was rejected here. I didn't get this job. I didn't make the team. I had a tragic death in my family. And those are the type of mental health things, right? Because those are the scars that kind of build up over life. And one thing happens and it just, can overwhelm all of us, right?
Yes.
Like no one is immune to that. So, reading's always been the game changer for me in terms of exposing myself to situations that may never happen, but just putting another tool in the tool belt of in terms of problem solving and just just your relationships and how you approach things. So that's a long-winded way, but
Nah, listen, it's not long-winded coming from you because at the end of the day, you're there every day.
Yeah,
right?
you're in it.
Yeah, so so it's not long-winded at all. Mike, how about your answer?
I'm gonna piggyback a little bit off of what DC said, and a little bit of my little testimony, right?
Okay, perfect.
So coming through, like I'm gonna start at the character. Like when I went to the NFL Combine, right? And we was in them rooms with all those coaches, and they was asking us all these questions. One thing that kind of like had me thinking was they knew everything about me.
Everything?
They knew everything about me from my upbringing to my pops being locked up to, you know what I'm saying, to being raised by a single mom, you know what I'm saying, to, they was like, I remember when they was like, yeah, when you was younger, you was a little problem child a little bit.
Right.
I'm looking at them like, why are you talking about that? Like, how you even know that? But my whole point is they go back and they talk to those principals and those teachers and I don't even know, like, and the people that they talk to, and they go look at I'm pretty sure they can get your files and look at your files and see your reports. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that because you gotta set something to where like, what is your stepping stone, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? And mine was like my last name, you know what I'm saying? So as I got older, I started like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Because my last name Tyson, you feel me? That's the easiest name. My name is Mike Tyson. That's the easiest name, you feel me, to remember, you feel me? And I just never wanted to embarrass my peoples, right?
Right.
And like growing up as a young kid, like I always knew it was more. I never seen more, you know what I'm saying? But I always knew it was more. So I used football as a stepping stool to get to where I wanted to go. So me was, if I got in trouble, I can't play football next year. You feel me? If I get in trouble doing this, I can't play football next year. If I don't get my grades, I can't play football next year. You know what I'm saying? So I made sure I had something that I was working towards.
Yes.
Many words, right? So, and I'm not saying that I was perfect. I'm not saying I didn't get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that everybody always spoke up, and I don't know, I still to this day don't know why.
Right.
They always was like, no, that's not that kid. He's not like that. He's a good kid. And everybody else I did it with getting in trouble. One thing they always said was he is so respectful. Because I always spoke to him, even if I was skipping the class, I still spoke to him. You feel? No, real talk. I'm just being honest.
I like that though.
You know what I'm saying? Like I always had respect. That's one thing my parents always instilled in me. You know what I'm saying? And I just never wanted to let them down. You know, like I had a few friends like in the past couple years commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to piggyback off of the social media thing. You know what I'm saying? I use social media now as my business platform, and the only thing I post is motivational stuff. I don't even really get up there and do nothing else. I post my business stuff that's coming up, and motivational stuff for real. Like she was saying, like showing your whole life, bro, it gives access to people to enter vulnerable spaces.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And these people don't know you. They don't know how to handle you. You know what I'm saying? So then everybody think everything is a joke nowadays. Don't nobody take nothing serious no more. You know what I'm saying? So when you open up that platform to letting them people in, that kind of like start bothering with your brain. You know what I'm saying? And when it start messing with your brain, now it start messing with your performance. Now it start messing with your attitude. How you talk to people. You feel me? How you play on the field. How you approaching your classwork. Now your grades get slipping. You know what I'm saying? And now, but you a man, right? We men, we taught to not show our feelings, not go talk to nobody. Cause I can't tell you one time that I talked to a guidance counselor throughout my high school, middle school, and elementary.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Jalen Mom was the first person I talked to, and they were probably like in 11th grade. And I used to go in there because I knew her personally. I didn't even look at her like a counselor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like I didn't have a father figure. So I had coaches. For some reason, I always had great male role models around me. You know what I'm saying? And when I was younger also, I used this a little bit off of that topic, but when I was younger also, my mom used to put me in these little programs. I don't know why she put me in these programs. I don't want to go to these programs. I want to be out there in Granny Park. You feel me? I grew up in Granny Park when it was the real Granny Park.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you couldn't come outside them gates because they were rolling dice and selling drugs right there on the corner. You had to go back and run right there in the field. You feel me?
Right.
Like so, but I didn't want to go to those little programs. I didn't know what they was for. But now being older, I understand she wanted to keep me out of trouble and keep me away from bad influence.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So just back to being around good people and surrounding yourself, you already have a good household. You know what I'm saying? Great parents. I don't know you personally, TJ, but from what everybody's saying, you're a good guy.
Oh, yes, sir.
You got a great foundation.
Once I'm sick back.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So, and I know a lot of kids too, bro. Like when I went to college, and then I went in the league, it was a lot of kids that didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
That didn't have a foundation. You know what I'm saying? That acted out. You know what I'm saying? Act like they ain't had no home training when they got out there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna have fun, but it's a level of fun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And their responsibilities. You feel me? That you are taught at home. So when you get out there in public, you're a grown man, like they were saying, you don't get caught up with them other color folks. Cause they waiting to write a story.
Yes.
Waiting to put, and you know what the first thing they're gonna say? They're not gonna say your name. They're gonna say football player, college, woo, 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 NFL, woo, woo, woo. They gonna put that on
Green
top
Run
of
football, whatever you attach
Green
to.
Run,
Yes.
college, whatever you attach to, they're gonna put that in the front of it to make it even worse. You know
Hey,
what I'm
TJ.
saying?
Turn them against you. Turn them against you.
TJ, it's funny that Mike said that because do we not tell you that? Well, I think we tell y'all that every single week. That you're not gonna be the only one getting in trouble. They want to take the program down. They want to take the coach down. It don't matter if you go to college. They're gonna say wherever you at, that's who's gonna get the local story. So if you playing for the Bucks, Tampa, you're gonna get the local story as an NFL player. Where you went to college at, they're gonna get the local story. You gonna
It
get
don't even matter when
you
you're not
home.
playing.
Yeah.
It don't even matter when you're not playing. When you not, they just posted earlier. I seen a dude, old head. He just got locked up for murder. He don't even play football no more. But they still said ex-NFL football player.
Right.
You a brand. So to bring everything, all the questions together, you a brand. You know what I'm saying? You got to protect the brand at all costs. And luckily, you getting this at this age. You feel me? You getting it young because you got a lot of great men and women up here, and you got great parents that care about you and want to see you succeed and don't want you to take that. You feel me? That left when you know you supposed to be standing straight over there, or that right, or that U-turn. You know what I'm saying? We all got stories where we had people that were better than us in the sport.
Yeah.
But they could not be patient and they could not have, either they had an attitude problem, they didn't have patience because they wanted money. So they jumped into the streets. They wanted the drugs. They wanted the girl. They wanted to do it early and it messed them up and they getting locked up. We all got stories of homeboys that were better than us in whatever we doing. You feel me? Why you think, if you look at, I watched them jail shows. You see how talented them people is?
Yeah.
How smart them people is? Imagine if they were doing that out here in the real world. If they could have just been a little more patient, had a little more level head when something went wrong, didn't want to be the tough guy on campus. You feel me? And fight everybody. You know what I'm saying? They will be more than likely successful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they had to go sit down and take the hard route. You don't want to take that route. There's no need to take that route. You got people that's in front of you that did it, that almost went through it. They got people that went through it that you don't even have to go through it.
Right.
Oh,
You know
hey,
what I mean?
Pops. Hey,
Yo.
Pop. We got
Yo.
some people in the chat via
Join.
the YouTube just commenting. So we got Kim Everett saying the new youth are off the chain. We got Terrell 757 telling Tampa Bay, please don't cut Shallow. Emmanuel said, good to see my fellow Spartans. Love seeing the positive things y'all are doing for the community. Thank you for saving my life. Okay, JR Namron said, thank you for saving my life, Lorenzo High. So just wanted to acknowledge the people that are on the YouTube checking it out.
Yes.
And giving us feedback.
Yes.
And
What's up? Go ahead.
but let Cyril just join.
Yeah, I was just about to say,
Let him introduce himself real quick. I'm pretty sure he probably know DC.
Yeah, Tyson, I was just about to say, let your brother introduce himself real quick.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Cyril.
Cyril.
Go ahead.
What's up? How y'all doing, man?
We good.
Appreciate y'all having me. I'm Cyril Grayson, NFL veteran. What else? Right now I'm playing currently in the UFL. Went to LSU from New Orleans. Living out in Houston. Me and Mike came in at the same time in Seattle. And we do everything together. So whatever he's doing, whatever he involved in, I'm willing to be involved in. So he hit me up like, you trying to hop on this call? I'm like, send the link. I'm just getting out of work. I'm a little tired today. First couple of days back. I'm just getting back into it. So, but yeah, excited to be here. And open book.
Hey, was DC there when you were there, Cyril? Weren't y'all there together?
Yeah, so I scouted you at your pro day.
Oh,
I scouted
so
you at your pro day, Cyril.
Oh no, I do look.
That's
No, I'm looking at him now. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's dope.
Because Cyril won the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay with Tom Brady when they were there.
Yeah, because I was at the pro day and I didn't know who you were, and you ran that 40, and I got to know real quick.
Track, man.
Right, because I think I had you like 4.27. I don't know what it was, but then
Yeah.
4.27?
Yeah, he ran track in college. He didn't play football in college. He ran track. He was a track
all the
star.
scouts had me at all the scouts had me sub 4.3, and then
Okay.
LSU. I guess they was kind of hating on me because I ain't play football there. They wanted to have me run the same thing as Jamal Adams 4.33. So that's what went up as official. But all the scouts keep their own time.
Right. Yeah, so I was a little bit faster than they had, but eventually got you into Tampa, so it worked out for you, man. Worked out for all of us.
For sure.
Damn.
I was just out there. I love Tampa.
That's the part I like.
And by the way, to the person in the chat, I did meet Shiloh today.
Oh, you did?
Just reported today.
Okay.
That's dope.
Tomorrow's the first practice. And I mean, I've been scouting them for a while. Like I went to Jackson State and scouted those guys, but I can't guarantee anything if it makes the team.
Man, here you go.
But if he does this thing, he'll make the team.
Man, I feel like Brush Smart. He should. He coach. I feel like he coached by the right people to understand the playbook early. They kind of get a jump on the other young guys. You know what I'm saying? That his level of thinking on the field is just now making the plays when they come to him. Because in the league, you only gonna get a certain amount of opportunities. You feel me? And you got to make those when they come to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, he dealing with a super tough room though.
Yeah.
Well, we got some dudes.
We
got some dudes. It ain't gonna be easy.
That Buccaneers safety room is insane. So
it is.
Not to be a skeptic, but
I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna get on with this next topic. I'm gonna start with the Ely family. Hey, parents, how you doing?
Hi, we're doing good. How are you?
How you doing? All right. So how did you guys meet? I want to know what's on the Thanksgiving menu. You know what I mean? Because TJ looked like he does 1,000 push-ups and eat 5 meals a day. You know what I mean? I just want to know because
he definitely can eat.
Yeah. We met through mutual friends, actually.
Okay, in the DM or that was kind of
it was back in the day.
Back in the day.
You had
okay.
The homeboy had a friend for you. You know how it goes.
All right. So with this topic, it's going to be, we're going to speak about parent and coach involvement, but most importantly is this, right? Whenever the question is asked and you have like a follow-up question, you can ask that, that's not a problem. Right now, this is a safe space and this is a great conversation. So prior to me even starting this, how many of us have children? Hands raised. Hands raised. Yes. Now, my next question is this. Are you the parent on the sideline going crazy?
I'm the parent in the concession stand, actually. Which is retiring this year, so I can watch the games.
I can't lie. I do go crazy, yes.
So, all right. So for me, right? So my future wife, right? She has a 21-year-old, a 12-year-old, and we have a newly 7-month-old, right? And the 12-year-old always invites me, that's to the games. So myself having a platform and being around pros and sports agents all the time, I'm just at the game. I'm just being a dad. I'm just chilling, right? But then in my mind, I'm like, damn, if you would have sprinted to the basket, you would have got a basket. If you'd have took one less dribble, you would have got to the basket easier. Oh, if you'd have stepped over, you would have got a steal, right? So so me just being a new parent, I'm like, damn. I just gotta chill sometimes, and that's the approach I take, because I don't want to be overbearing. But the question I have for all the parents is, what can parents do to be better support when it comes to their athletes, their babies' mental health?
You want to go first?
Mm-hmm.
Is that to us?
Yeah, to parents.
That's all the parents.
All parents.
And wait, hold on. And if you do not have a child, you're a parent anyway, because you are probably taking care of kids. If it's not your job, you have nieces, nephews, you have play cousins. You're taking care of them as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, in my experience, I'm nowhere on you guys' level, but I coach youth football, so I have been around a bunch of kids. Like you say, different problems, no cleats, no, they want the fancy back flaps or whatever.
Right.
That goes back to his original statement. They don't feel like they are a good player if they don't look good or they don't have the cleats that somebody else has. They don't have the face mask or the whatever that somebody else has. So I let them know it don't take all that. You know, if your game gonna show on the field, I'm gonna play you point blank. And I'm not the one to. I'm kind of old school. I don't play around. I'm not gonna joke with you. I'm gonna let you know. And if you need to talk to me about it, we can talk about it. With my own son, we have conversations all the time. I talk to him after every game. I get on him, but then we talk about it. You know, even this is my only son. I have girls, but I gotta be careful with him because I wasn't brought up like that. You know, I didn't have those conversations. I didn't have a father. So sometimes it's hard when you learning on the go, but you know, you try to do your best.
Right.
And for me, I've been his team mom since he's been playing.
Oh, that's so cute. You was the team mom.
I've always been the team mom.
All the cookies and the oranges and the Gatorades and the waters.
Gatorade, snacks, Halloween bags, everything. So the opposite side of Terrence, of dad, is same thing. We encountered the same children, but I'm that person. Whereas if that coach was ever since they were little, that coach, and I tell the coaches, I used to tell, he can tell you, I used to tell the coaches this: if you break them down, you build them back up. So if they did something in the game where the coach got on them, me and the other team mom, we would talk to them, chat with them, say, well, what do you feel needs to be done? And then have them go correct it and have them talk to their coach. But I'm a big fan of, if you break a child down, you build them back up.
Right.
So
okay.
I just present and listen to them and come to a mutual agreement and talk.
Now, TJ, are you listening when them conversations are happening? You can be honest. I'm not gonna get you in trouble.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, just making sure. All right, so are there any other parents, parents who have an answer for that question?
Pops, I do want to add a little bit on this one.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
Oh,
kind of.
So I've got young kids. They literally just started playing sports, like 5 years old.
Ooh.
But in terms of scouting players, right? Like I know if you get scouting Tua out of Alabama. And his dad was so overbearing that we literally had concerns of drafting him because we didn't know how he was going to handle life. Like his dad would not let him handle anything. Right. And so I would say, because of course you want your kid to do the right thing, but there's got to be allow this kid to deal with that situation, right? Because whatever situation that he's facing, whether it's a coach that's mean and rude, and of course there's a line of control disrespect, but when that kid goes off to college and pro sports, they're gonna walk that line every day with him, Yeah. And so, if they're not physically abusing this kid, if you want to help them prepare for where you think they can go, then you need to give him the tools to allow him to know how to maneuver that relationship. And of course, you're coaching him, off to the side. Hey, what happened? Let's talk through this. But I've seen a lot of kids crippled because their parents were so overbearing. And then when they get to us, well, we tell them straight up, it's funny how Mike brought up the combine. So I'm the guy that's at the combine asking those questions. And yes, Mike, I know everything about you, everything about your life, everything about your life. I talk to all your coaches, your academic advisor, the nurse, we got private investigators. So I know every question I ask, I know the answer, And so, but a lot of times I see kids that I can tell by talking to them, they've not been allowed to discover the tools within themselves to deal with the things that are coming. And, you know, we had some kids get to us, and I'm like, and nobody gonna be here to save them. And it, you know, and they sink. And so, you know, I try to like tell parents like, hey, you know, of course you're guiding him, but allow your kid to fail. That's not the end of the world. Where he got, you know, whatever, he made it back play. Coach absolutely ripped him, you know, not disrespectfully, but hey, in his face, that's a failure. Okay. You know, allow him to come back that next week and boom, overcome that. Like, you know, just different things like that I see a lot of times, and it ends up being a crutch for them down the road. So,
hey, Coach Cotton, Mr. Donovan Cotton, I got a question on that. But I want to ask, do you think that hurt Shedeur Sanders' draft because he was only coached by his dad for all his life, and I believe that parents can help their kids be better athletes by just letting the coach. Sometimes we can just, you know, we could coach them before the game, but when it's a coach, let the coach coach, and that's something that I'm learning. You know, because you want to coach your kids, but sometimes you got to let the coach coach so they can hear it from a different perspective and hear it a different way. But do you think that hurt Shedeur as well?
So it's kind of Shedeur. You know, I saw him at Jackson State. You know, I went to Colorado. Like, you know, I know all the background on both of those guys. Everything about their life, I know. Do I think that hurt Shedeur? It was a topic that came up in draft meetings. Just now, I'll say this, you know, I personally said, at least at our draft meetings, I've been to practice multiple times with Shedeur. His dad was not hands-on at all. You know, like the offensive coordinator coached him, and Shedeur is a really good practice player in terms of a leader. Like, he ran you know, it was no different than when I saw Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts or Kyler Murray. Like, you know, I do think that there was some things that he could have done better in his process. And I do think that it's his perspective is so different because his dad is one of one human in the world in terms of the athlete that he was and the way he went about the process, which, you know, right or wrong, talent equates to some level of tolerance of like things you can get away with. You know, I think about Cam Newton when he was coming out, you know, and we had the story, and like, you know, it's public knowledge, so I'm not saying anything. When he was at Florida, he stole a laptop and threw it out the window. He takes a deal before NIL was legal.
Right.
He takes a deal, goes to a different school. Like, he did a lot of stuff that was like, but he was so talented. I remember one of our veteran scouts said, yeah, he did all those things and he's going to fall to number one because there's no one else. You know, because he's a one of one human. When you see Cam Newton, you go, oh, like, God made a one of you, and that's you. Right. Well, Shedeur is not one of one. He's a good player, but he's not like rare. He's good. And so, I mean, I don't want to get too into it, but I mean, did his dad coaching him? I think that was the big thing. Like, it's definitely a discussion because it's real. Like, well, you know, his dad has coached him his whole life. Well, now he's not going to be able to go to his dad. So, like, I think it's definitely an angle, you know, when you're going to make a kid the face of your franchise. I mean, I call the quarterback the CEO. Like, my kids are going to college based on what Baker Mayfield does right now. So it's a big deal for me. Right?
Yes.
Right? You know, so I want to know everything and how he's going to react. So that particularly, I don't think was like the difference maker, but there were definitely things he could have done better in his process that would have helped him. Yeah.
And before you move to the next question, Pops, I'm glad that DC said that, and I'm glad that we do have professional players in here, because the one thing that I know, like, just having, I have God kids, and then I look at your kids, all your kids is my kids. You know what I'm saying? Any kid that's around me at the time is my kid. But I'm glad that y'all said that, because the type of involvement that I think that parents should have is more off the field. You know what I'm saying? Being involved in your kid's life, asking them grown up questions, or the questions that's taking them to the next level. Like, as an athlete, one that highly competes, you're always thinking about the next anyway. Like when you hit the 10th grade, you kind of start thinking about like, yo, what school I'm about to go? This thing about to be over, so I gotta be ready. In this case, I would just wish parents would just get a little sharper off the field. Worry about the business, examine practice. Like you said, watch the practice, watch the game. You could talk to them. You can watch the huddle with them. TJ is one of the main reasons why I did ask TJ family to be up here is because that's what we need to see more of. Like when it takes both parents, bro. You know what I'm saying? You need to be able to get that toughness from your pop, and mom dude's got to be able to wipe your back. Like, yo, your dad right here a little bit strong, but baby, I seen you out there still get 2 touchdowns. You need that balance. You know what I'm saying? Because when you out there, bro, and your coach giving it to you, that's just a preview of business. What I heard from Coach Cotton literally was, look, bro, I'm making an investment. This is multi-million-dollar of investment. I ain't got time to be worried about if I can trust you, if I can do this, if I can do that. At some point, that's the way life becomes, period. I don't care if you play professional football or not. Parents have to set their child up with tough enough skin to know everybody don't get a trophy. Failing forward, that's the only way you're going to get to success. You know what I mean? Lastly, the thing that was said when Mike and DC was talking, great people make great everything. Great players, great teams. So worry about your child just being a better person. Like that's literally what we focus on the mental health field. Bro, I'm not chasing you down. I'm not kissing your butt because you great. I'm gonna tell you, my phone line is open. If you want anything, I'll be here next week. I have to put the responsibility on you to call me and tell me because that's the way things is going to be. Everybody's not going to just hand you everything. But if you speak up, we can know and you can get things done.
And it's, and it's like even with watching the draft at times, right? You would see a single mother or that's a 2-parent household at times, right? So I would want to know, how does that play a role in when it comes to mental health and our student athletes?
Man, I know with me growing up, I ain't gonna say I ain't have like no trauma because I still deal with trauma now from what I grew up in and whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I know my mom never missed a practice or a game. You feel me? They had to make, when I got to high school, she came out there, they said, oh no. I played JV in 8th grade and started varsity in 9th grade. So she coming out there and they like, oh, parents ain't out here at all. This grown man ball over here. Like, ain't no parents out here. Crushed my mom, you know what I'm saying? But at the sense, I had to really grow up because my mom was always there. So all I had to do is look in the stands, like, and she look at me like, hey, tighten up. You feel me? So like I had to grow up, you feel me, mentally, you feel me, especially in those spaces around dudes that's older than me, you feel me, gonna have challenges or people gonna be better than you, you normally the best. So now you got people that's better than you gotta learn from them, you gotta pick up, you feel me, you gotta make the right decisions, you gotta be able to, like choose your friends wisely, you know what I'm saying? Like, and those type of things. So like I feel like when your parents, even though my dad like wasn't physically there, like, but when he was locked up for some reason, the letters that he wrote stuck with me. Those that me and my dad cool, we tight, you know what I'm saying? But like when he like, but his letters, you feel me? Everything he said in his letters, you know what I'm saying? Like he probably didn't have that. He didn't have that example of a good father growing up, and you feel me? He was in the streets and all that stuff like that. But like his letters and just his letters and my mom being there at all times, you feel me? That played a huge part in my success. And now I can tell you when I got to Cincinnati, they was trying to hold me my sophomore year from starting. I wanted to transfer because they was tripping. Yeah, they ain't had a portal back then. You transfer, boy, you either going down or you gonna lose a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you gonna lose a year around that time. You know what I'm saying? So we just kept like. So I remember calling my mom, like I was crying, like these niggas just really trying me, like you feel me? But I had, but I'm speaking of just talent though.
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm not picking up on the maturity part of like studying the plays and yeah, you can talent hard. Look, one of my quotes that I always stuck with: hard work beat talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yes, that is true.
You know what I'm saying? And it was a couple times where I got sidetracked off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like thinking like, nigga, my talent gonna get me there. Nigga, I ain't you feel me, Jamar Chase, you feel me? I ain't, you know what I'm saying, Randy Moss, you know what I'm saying? But when you make plays, but you gonna probably you gonna bust some plays too. You know what I'm saying? If you just building off of talent instead of just doing your job. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, like I was just thinking more of talent wise when I was just one trying. She was like, no, you know who you is, like go in there and show them who you are.
And support and I'm gonna tell you what's crazy.
Bro.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you what's crazy,
No,
right? And this is where the importance of sports, I wish these schools would have more understanding of, right? And it's not just TJ's parents, right? There's the uncles, there's the aunts. It's all about wrapping the arms around kids. Because I remember when I was coaching, travel basketball at AAU, there was a kid who didn't have no one who could support him at all. And we would have other parents just take him in, like, this is what love looks like. This is what having a conversation with a man of that substance does look like. And my last question is this: how can parents and coaches work together when they see changes in an athlete's behavior? And I would love to hear that. That's from the parent standpoint.
Okay.
I feel a line of communication. I think sometimes some parents get judged by the majority, and the coaches don't want to hear, what you got to say, because most parents gonna come to you and talking about, well, my boy ain't get this many carries or he ain't get this many, so they don't even listen to you because they done heard so much, so they don't even want to hear when you're talking about something good, when it's really important. I think that's a problem, but we just need that line of communication.
Okay. And coaches, how you feel about that?
I agree wholeheartedly. That's one of the main things that Zoe, myself, and Coach James, I mean, when I go in there, I go in head of steam. Like Coach B will, we need to talk to the parents, bro. We don't even need to do all the X and O's, bro. We can do that for you. Like, let us have a player-parent meeting, because when you're dealing with high school, see, one of the main things in high school you're dealing with a lot is finance. You know what I'm saying? Like, the program needs finance. So we need the parents. The parents need to know what's going on, that level of communication. Then when things start to alter, one, it's the same thing, like you just said, having both parents, but having a support system. It's the same thing, bro. When things switching up, when you getting in trouble, when somebody get in trouble, if you get expelled, if you get kicked off the team, if you get reprimanded, if you get suspended from school or the team, you need somebody still there to support you, bro. For a child, for a young man, young woman, that's the end of the world. You take away my game, whether it be an injury or you just take it away, I can't do it no more, then now I'm about to rebel. So it's just impacting one that communication, but on a level, the young man and the young woman, they need support as much of it as possible. Like you need a cool uncle that can come around when you pissed off with your aunt, with your mom and your dad or the coach, and just say, yo, come here, let's just go get something to eat. Tell me what's going on. Tell me from your perspective. Okay, cool. I can go talk to the head coach. I can go talk to him for you. I can relay a message and let you know that, look, he ain't got time for you this week. He ain't rocking with you. You're going to have to do some extra this, some extra that to get back in his good graces. You know what I'm saying? He wants you to come stop by the office and talk to him like a young man, because he heard you when you called him an F nigga. He heard you when or seen you when you put that little subliminal post up. Like, that's the era we live in. You emotional, you going to let your emotions out. we're gonna be the mediator, the middleman. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
that's from mental health coaches to just adults that's around them. So I feel like it's imperative, bro. It's one of the main things that's hurting high school sports. You know what I'm saying? Parents want to be coaches on sideline, more so than being a parent that's interacting to build a program. Because parents are essential in program building. You know what I'm saying? You
Yes.
need that. You need that. So that's what, just on the small end, that's what I.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. I agree with that, Callie. It's funny because in school, when you first meet the parents, what do they ask everybody to sign up for?
Sports.
No, the parents. What did the school ask the parents to sign up for?
PTA.
Oh,
PTSA, right? PTSA.
Mhm.
So
Yep, PTA.
it starts that early. You understand the school system say we need the parents. And
Mm-hmm.
it's the foundation of everything, because if you tell a kid something or you give them a sheet of paper, either they're going to lose it, they're not going to tell their parents. But if you communicate with the parents or you bring that letter to the parent, you call home, whatever it is, once you communicate with the parent, that foundation, that relationship is built. So once the communication with the parents and the coaches is established, everything else is going to be a positive going from there. So I agree with the communication with the parents
Yeah,
and the coaches
communication is
and the adults.
definitely major.
Bro, that's the parents is the key to fixing the whole world, man. How about that?
Yeah,
And
it is.
I'm just be honest, I'm a flash something real quick. This is my sound jersey from Bobby.
Hey, behold. Let's go,
Okay,
Bobby.
okay.
Yeah, this is a Commander signed jersey.
Oh,
Like I would say this: rules without relationship equal rebellion. I'm gonna say it again. Rules without relationship equal rebellion. Everything starts at top. Everybody has to have the same vision. Parents are the key to fixing everything: football, sports, community, the White House, the Black House, the I'm telling you, and that's where the society has been broken so much. The parents are not there. You see, it takes two, right? Rob Bass said it takes two, right? Then one falls off. We don't know how it falls off, but it happens. And then one person is trying to do a whole lot. And then one shows up during draft day. Then one just shows up when they want to show up. And it's terrible. And me as a qualified mental health professional, I've been called dad so much. I didn't go to so many houses, and the man is not there. Okay, and it's terrible. So when the parents are ask for help, they're not just help for concession stands. They're trying to help other people's kids, because some of these kids don't get their basic physiological needs, and then we're asking them to do a lot when they're 16, 17, and they don't even know how to do stuff because nobody taught them. Their parents are the first teachers, not your kindergarten teacher. Okay. So when you have these kids and these parents are nowhere to be found, guess what? We got a grown man that don't know what the hell he doing. So I ain't talking about tackling somebody. He don't even know how to shake a grown ass man hand. He don't even know how to say hello.
Or look him in the eyes.
He don't look him in the eye. He walk. I check my kids. I'm shaking your hand while you're on the sideline. Matter of fact, where's your dad? What's going on? I ask personal questions. Get pissed off if you want to, but I got to find out who you are so I can meet you where you are. So in mental health, you got to find out where a kid is, and then you got to go meet him, because some of these kids are grown, but they have no clue what the hell they're doing. Okay? They know how to catch touchdowns. When the lights cut off, they are lost. Okay? And the parents are not there. Guess who has to pick it up? The Boys and Girls Club, the church, grandparents. Grandparents are taking care of kids more than ever now. You know why? Because the person who dropped the seed ain't nowhere to be found. Yes, I'm gonna say it. And so there's a lot of work that's put on a lot of people. The Bible said the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are what? The laborers are few. So we're doing a lot of work for people who are not there. And so the parents are stressed out. They're trying to do so much, and they have to do more than just talking about football. They got to build these relationships with these coaches, and coaches have to do more than just coach football. They got to parent those players. So hats off to everybody that's being a parent, and those kids are not yours, but biblically, they are yours. So, but everything starts at the top. If we got to talk to B Will on the side, hey, look, man, let us do this so we can help the kids. You want to build a program? We need to be able to connect with the parents. And if you get the support of a lot of women, then programs are going to run. I'm gonna be honest with you. Women run a lot of stuff behind the work scene. So you got to let these women help, because the man is here and there. I'm just sorry. They're there sometimes, and they're there. Sometimes they're there, and sometimes they're not. But you know that woman's going to show up, because she's not going to leave her kids stranded like that. So we have to be able to work together. So us as men, we have a lot that we have to do, man. But we're doing a whole lot, and we can't be everywhere at one time. But that woman's going to be there. So that parenting part is the key that fixes everything, not just football.
Hey, Pops, I gotta hop off real quick, but I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
definitely
okay.
want to say thank you. And I want to stay in contact with TJ and really, with just to interact with the team, because, I want to kind of send some Bucks gear to some kids that need hope and some kids that are doing the right things. You know what I mean? And I don't want it to be like the best player. I want the kid that's like, he just consistent. He don't miss nothing. And the kid that does miss, though, because,
Hey,
you know what I mean?
DC, you gotta feel love too.
For
Yeah.
that right there, just get in contact, stay in touch with Zoe. We're
Yeah.
gonna do, because we like to do mental health superlatives, so we got you.
Okay, yeah. And TJ, I definitely want to stay in contact, because, I've gotten 5 young black men jobs in the NFL, because I'm always looking for young brothers who, like, whether you make it or not in the league, I want you to be in the league for 13 years. I mean, for 30 years. Like, I've been in the league for 14 years. I got a Super Bowl ring, right? And, and I ain't took one hit yet.
Yeah, fire.
No,
Right?
for real.
But just to show on that side, though, because that's something that we're not always
That was
exposed
hope
to in
right
our
there.
communities, right? And so, I definitely want to stay in contact, and just, any questions you have about the college, like, I've been to every college, I know all these coaches, they call me all the time trying to get the players drafted, which is a different perspective, right? Because when they walk on a high school campus, well, it's definitely, I just want to be honest about, hey, is what you can expect, help you navigate through that, and, maybe have an interest in scouting and, in being a team builder, which is something people don't really know about. So I just always like to expose that. So yeah. So if you want to, Zoe, do you have his number, TJ number?
Yeah, he does.
Cool. So yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes,
got everybody number. Look, we
Yeah,
all
we got
look.
you.
Hey, we ain't going nowhere,
got
brother. We,
Okay, cool.
we ain't
We
going.
got you.
Yeah.
We ain't going
Go
nowhere.
ahead and handle your
But
business.
thank
Before you
you.
go, not to cut you off, Zoe, but
Yeah,
thank you for being
No,
here, bro,
for real.
because
Thank you.
that's what we're trying to expose. You know what I'm saying? Everybody not gonna get drafted, everybody not gonna get picked up, but
Right.
there's opportunity, bro, and
Right.
there's so much opportunity that you wouldn't even know,
Right.
if you
Right. That's always
unless you get
relationship,
exposed
right?
to it. So thank you.
Right.
Yes.
Right. It's always related. So,
Thank
not
you.
even to everyone, I gotta,
All right, brother.
always gotta hold us down. You know what I mean?
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Appreciate it.
All right, y'all.
You.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
What you got
DC,
for us,
holla at
Pop?
me. All right. So I have a question for Mr. Larry. I have a big question for you, right? How important is it for athletes to build an identity outside of sports? Because I know, well, hold on, because I know you watched players who were really, really good, who couldn't flourish, and you watched players who were okay and flourished.
I remember Larry.
I see Mike Tyson up there too. I remember covering him. You know what's sad is I did a story during COVID when a lot of athletes dealt with a lot of mental health issues because sports was all they had. And when sports was taken away, they didn't know how to respond. And hearing some of these kids, and sadly, it was mostly the black kids who that all they had was sports. They didn't know how to function. Their grades fell because first of all, you're trying to learn Zoom. There's no athletics; it was taken from you. You don't know what the kids' home life was like and how they're trying to deal. And so a lot of kids, and even for myself, sports was the only thing that got me into school, the only thing that kept me at school. was a Division I track athlete, but if it wasn't for sports, I wouldn't have stayed in school. So for a lot of times for kids, when they fail in sports, it's going to trickle down to everything in life. It's going to trickle down to their home life. It's going to deal with their attitude. It's going to deal with their school. It's going to deal, that's what a lot of kids get into gangs because they can't find love nowhere else. And that's where they find love. And every kid is looking for love. And if they can't find it, and they lose their identity in sports, I talk to a lot of athletes who get injured. And the hardest time for them is going through that year, not being able to get on that field, not being able to play, not being able to shine. Friday night comes, they're sitting on the sideline. Friday night comes, they might be in the stands. They've lost their identity, and that trickles down to a whole lot of other things that mess the person up. And like I said, man, any athlete who's come through Hampton Roads since 2000 to now, I've covered. And I've seen some of the, I thought they were can't miss NFL, NBA players. And then other ones who made it, I'm like, wow, okay. But that's, you talked about before about having the parents behind you and having that mother and that father to be able to pull those kids through. And they're the ones that have to help their kid realize their identity and realize their identity isn't in sports, it's in themselves. They got to find it within themselves. I can't tell you the number of kids that I interview. And I try to make sure I ask when I'm doing an interview on a kid, I say, hey, where's your mother? Where's your father? And sadly, with our kids, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, I'm always talking to women, no men.
Wow.
That's number is big.
90%. It might be 95. And what's real sad is I did it.
98.
Yeah, it might be. I didn't want to go that high, but yeah, it might be.
Look,
Yeah, and I did a story. I did a story this past year on a young man by the name of Travis Johnson, plays for Oscar Smith. And the reason why I did the story wasn't because he was a great athlete. I did the story because his mother did everything to help this kid get recognized, taking him to camps almost every single week. She had one kid that was at West Virginia. She would leave the Oscar Smith game at 11 o'clock at night, drive through the night to West Virginia to go see her other son. Then leave there and fly and take her son to what do you call it? Go visit another school, visit another schools. Turn around. I mean, she's doing this not just one weekend. I'm talking, she's doing it all the time. So when I did the story on her and her family, and I said, hey, I waited. I said, hey, where's the father? He says, father's not there. But we know what happened. You know when the father shows up? When it's draft day. When it's draft day. That's when his father shows up.
I go pro.
Yeah, and go pro. That's when they show up. But the kids know. And yeah. So, going back to what your original question, yeah, sports is such an identity to a kid that if they don't make it, they feel like a failure sometimes, and that ends up messing up the whole lot of things in life. That's why it's so important to realize that sports is not everything. Sports can be your message, your vehicle to get to college, but don't make that your only thing.
And this is a question, that's for my pros, right? Who played in the NFL, and this goes to the individuals who've played, that's collegiate sports. When it was over, when did you know it was over?
Well, Cyril's still playing. Me? I've been trying to get my dog to retire
right now. I love Mike, son. I'm fucking with Mike, son. Excuse my language. I'm rocking with Mike.
Hey, but no, honestly, I always tell the story where, like I said, football was more my stepping stone. It wasn't something that I wanted. Like, my dream wasn't to go to the NFL. Right? Like, that was something that I used as I got older to get away from where I was at. But I'm not going to do something, do it, you know what I'm saying, if I'm going to do it. So, that's all I knew. So, of course, I, played ball and then when I got my chance to go to the league, I'm going to go to the league. I'm not going to turn it down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't put too many years into this to not do it, right?
Right.
So, to fast forward, I played my 3 and some change years, Cyril, and COVID hit. I got hurt. In the preseason, and they always say you don't get paid in the tub. You know what I'm saying? Remember they tell us that in Seattle, bro? You don't get paid in the tub, man.
Can't get paid.
Yeah, so I ended up getting hurt in the preseason, right before the last game, tore my groin.
Sheesh.
Right. So then I'm already like, bro, I'm not even really thinking, obviously COVID not here, right? So I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna get back in shape. I'm gonna go on a workout, you know what I'm saying? And I'm good. You feel me? I'm gonna get back. Throughout that process, I was in the best shape of my life. For real, I was in better shape than when I went to the combine.
Right.
So I was like, so then COVID hit. And I'm like, oh, you feel me? Like, oh, what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So then once the NFL wasn't letting nobody bringing nobody in for workouts, I signed with Canada. And I was like, I'm gonna go to Canada.
Right.
Canada ended up not letting nobody over the borders. So now I'm out my hurt year. I'm out my hurt year, and then the year I'm supposed to come back, I can't play because nobody bringing nobody in. You know, that year people were getting cut before they even touched the field. They didn't get drafted. You know what I'm saying? They just had to get rid of people. You know what I'm saying? So at that moment, some people didn't even get a chance to show their talents. So then after that, I started jumping into like the business world, learning that stuff. And now I'm at, I started like, forget it, I might start getting my benefits. You know what I'm saying? At this point. But I had to go to a mental health clinic for a whole month. And that what really catapulted me into mental health when I went there. But it wasn't until I was there for about a week and my social media got cut off.
Right.
So I ain't had no choice but to just lock in. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm going through this process, I didn't even know how traumatized I was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I come from, just such a rough background, you know what I'm saying? And you not showing your emotions and different things like that. So I was one of those guys. Cyril will tell you, I was one of those guys saying, man, that's soft. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, suck it up. You could be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I went there, I started understanding like what mental health was and start understanding like my problems and then start understanding who I was outside of football.
Right.
That was really the game changer. So then that's when I was like, I say, bro, I'm done. Like before I even left the mental health place, I wrote a letter. I said, I retire. I'm done. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then that's when I got in business. And then that's when I remember I was working all day. Cyril, he like, bro, come work out. Like, bro, get in the weight room. Like, what are you doing? Like, man, you working all day. Like, what are you doing? Like, but my whole life changed, you know what I'm saying? When I got back in the weight room, I started getting into coaching, and then that's when I started meeting different people, and it just brought me back around that camaraderie that I was missing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sitting here trying to do everything without using the platform of I was in the NFL. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I wanted people to know me as Mike Tyson, just the person, not Mike Tyson, the football player. So I was trying to separate the two. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I retired, bro. Like, and that's kind of like how I ended up getting into mental health, it's a long story, but it's been a long 4 years. Been a good 4 years. Learning who I am and building different things and learning myself and meeting different people, So yeah, that's how I ended. I'm still waiting for Cyril to end. I'm still waiting for my dog to end so we can start doing these.
I'm close.
So we can start doing these businesses and stuff. You feel me?
I'm
over here in the business world. I'm like, hey, bro, look. You can you already playing in the league. You already got a Super Bowl, and then you don't need to play in the XFL game. Like, you feel me? Look, let's go ahead and jump and get started in the business stuff, so you can go ahead and get a head start.
I'm close, Mike. I'm close.
I'm just telling them like my thought process of what I be telling you. Like, hey, bro, like let's go ahead. I want you to get a jump start. I don't want you to be late like I was late.
Yeah, that's kind
of
that's kind of really it. I think a lot of people in the game, what people want to do is in the game on their own terms. And I'm thinking that's what Mike was able to do. He was able to come to terms with it and say like, man, I'm done. Like when he first got out, it wasn't necessarily on his own terms because he was hurt.
Right.
You know,
and then things wasn't able to kind of get back going, and the timing, and then like so in ways that's like God, telling you like, okay, like the cloud is moving, if you will. And so I think that that's how it is for me a little bit right now too. It's a mix between a few things why I kind of still am playing. But last year was gonna be like my last year, and then my son kind of was like, he think daddy a coach, right? So I'm like, so he just want to coach for real. So I was like, nah, like, daddy play, yeah. Daddy can go right now. So it was a mix between that, not having all the business stuff that I've been setting up, get into, and then like the calls still coming, in some ways. So I'm like, okay, man, why I still got the ability, I might as well be out there. And then so the reason why I'm playing in the UFL is because a coach who I really respected had called me and was like, come and play for me. It didn't necessarily go exactly how I thought it was gonna go.
Right.
But I respect it. And then I guess our season went so bad last year, and like I've literally won in every league or anything I ever done, and we were so bad. I'm like, I can't go out sad 1-9, so I gotta play again.
Yeah.
So 1-9 is crazy.
1-9, I can't go out a loser, man. Like that's not the way you want to finish. But I think, I guess to answer the question about having a passion or identity outside of the game is so important. First of all, like football or sports is just a microcosm of the world of what we live in. Is here today, is gone tomorrow. It's the next man up. It teaches us everything that we need to know about life, if you will. But like eventually it comes to an end. And I think that when you win it, you never see it that way. Like there is a end in ball. Like it's gonna be over. Whether it's high school, whether it's middle school, whether it's college, whether it's pros, it's gonna end. And I think that knowing that, like, I've always had that reality in my mind. Like, so I always hung out with other stuff that I really love to do too. So it wasn't gonna be like a super hard transition back to being in that. But what we also do know is a game like football is an all-in sport. So when do I hang out with my other stuff? And it's also hard to not have the identity in sports because other people identify you as that. They ask you how your day was. They not asking you, about the 13 hours you was away from work. They was asking you how practice was, and that's really what you feeling too. How your day was, man. It wasn't a good day, man. I dropped 3 balls. But man, I gave a guy some money. I had a good conversation. I started to get like, don't talk to me about football. Don't ask me about work. Because first of all, I was playing with Tom Brady too, so they wasn't asking me about me. Man, how has it been in the locker room?
Tom Brady.
Excuse me. Can you ask me about me? So it is hard not to identify with that, but I think that comes with setting your boundaries too, though. Like you have to set those boundaries around yourself where you're like, hey, like, I understand you at all, but look, ball is good. I know answer that question, but man, I'm dealing with XYZ, or this is where I'm at. These are the other things that, and really tap into those things because it is important, man. Like, man, imagine me being super all in football and forgetting about my family. Forgetting that I'm a dad, or being all in with football and forget about my friends and forget that I gotta go to church on Sunday and stuff like that, So definitely identifying with those things, and then with the transitioning, like paying attention to the signs and where you're at, and moving based on like your faith. Like faith, like is where is God leading me right now? What voice am I hearing? And moving at that speed. Like somebody told me the other day, I was like, Miss Angel, my head coach wife, I'm like, Miss Angel, this is my last season. I ain't go, no, baby, don't say that. Just give God some time. I'm like, look, I'm listening to God. God say I'm done. My neck be hurt. I'm getting old. My neck be hurting when I wake up in the morning. I'm pulling muscles that I don't know about. Like, done. Year 10 is still under 30, 35.
Yeah.
There's so much life to
I
live.
think
Like,
I think what you're saying right now, Cyrus,
real quick.
what happened?
Who that?
Real quick. This is something I forgot to do. And this is something we always do. Because this as men, a lot of times we don't do this, but I did want to do a quick check-in with everyone. Is there anything that we need to talk about mentally? Anything going in your life that we need to talk about? We do like to do that. So this is a safe space. Does anyone have anything going on that we may need to discuss? Because this is what we're here for.
I mean, we discussing it for me. I mean, like I said, the main reason why I wanted to do this, because I'm tired of seeing things edited. I'm tired of seeing big productions. I'm tired of seeing. I just want people to come together, brothers who look alike, from different backgrounds, literally, because that's what the youth is. The youth is a bunch of different backgrounds. It's a bunch of different parents. Like I say, Mike, your way might work for this person. I might be able to get to this person. You might be able to get to it, but collectively, we can get the most people. You know what I'm saying? And people need to know, you know what I'm saying? This is not career day. This is not commencement. When somebody comes and tells you that, yeah, it's a fairy tale, it's a dream. One of the main reasons that I wanted to put this together is because I can see it. Whether a teammate said it to me or not, I know when you used to play wide receiver and you looking like a defensive tackle. I know that there's depression connected to that. I know that there's depression connected to that because I've seen you as a high performing athlete. We've seen our teammates in their best of their best as far as physical, but your mental is connected. And literally, I just want this to be recorded so I can go out and more parents can reach out to us. I need parents to have a safe space to know, like, yo, over there at Green Run or in that Green Run network, they can get the mic, they can get the Cyril, they can get this person or Cyril. I don't want to say your name wrong.
Everybody say your name.
I'm gonna say CY. You mind? My man CY, my man Cy.
CG.
Okay, my man CG. But literally, man, we can't wait. I think a big problem with people in that age range of 30 to 40-ish, I think they're forgetting because they've been lacking the love or been coached or just had their parent, that one parent, that we forgetting we becoming the old heads, and it's our time to do this too. It's on us. Like the generation before us, like I say Mr. Rubama because I'm respectful and I respect that man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm an adult now. He used to come check me in Bayside as a high school student. I picked up a football in 10th grade. You know what I'm saying? So I knew it was over when it was over. All I wanted was my degree. You know what I mean? I literally wanted my degree for free. And I wanted to build relationships. I literally wanted, when we threw our first party and that lady, when it got to the point when that lady in DC told me that they made $80,000 at the bar, I knew I was going to be fine. Like I knew I found something that I'm good at. I'm good at bringing people together. I'm good at planning events and stuff. So literally, man, I want to create a platform where we can continue to do this, continue to build, and really focus on mental health and how it's connected from the stomach to the brain. So not much going on outside of, like I said, it's a lot of deaths going on in the Norfolk State community. We just lost 2 teammates, I think last Friday, this Friday, and next Friday. That's 3 funerals back-to-back weeks. So I'm ready to speak life into everything. Like I'm on go, I'm on one. We're trying to get things on the back end with Mike. You know what I mean? He just had a flag football tournament. I still haven't met this brother, but it's literally it's been tough, bro.
For that
Like,
mental health flag football.
yeah, like
at
grown
ODU.
men crying. See grown men crying, like literally breaking down, and you didn't have no time to prepare. Like you found out your brother was dying on Monday. He died on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want me personally, that's what's on my mind, my heart, and everything right now. I don't want to see nobody else die, you know what I mean, without having conversations with them to set up a future to keep them alive.
Yeah. People got to understand how important they are to the world, bro. Like everybody have a gift, and God gave everybody their own talent that they have to tap into. You know what I'm saying? You know, a quote earlier, and it was like, your purpose is whatever you're good at, like something that comes naturally to you.
Right.
It's something that you don't really have to think about, something that you have a passion for. And the example the dude had used was, he was like, they were doing a group assignment, right? He was a public speaker. They were doing a group assignment, and he was in a group with a bunch of girls, and they were trying to figure out who gonna present it, you feel me, and who gonna do the work. The girls were like, I don't want to talk in front of everybody. And he was like, shit, well, that's good. I don't want to do no work, but I like to talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, it worked out great for both of us. You know what I'm saying? So, and now he a public speaker. He was saying like, yeah, he had to work at the craft, but that came naturally to him. So now, and look what he doing to the world. You feel me? Because he tapped into the gift that God gave him. Some people think like some gift you got to give because you like to do something.
Right.
Like, well, your purpose is, you feel me, that your gift, like you play football, you think that is what your purpose is. You know what I'm saying? That's just your gift.
Your purpose is connected to that.
You feel me? You just doing right now to pass time.
Yes.
You feel me? So you can tap into the greatness of yourself.
Glad you said that, Mike, because there's a difference between profession and purpose. And the book we read in we read Rich Dad Poor Dad together, and then now we read in the Cash Flow Quadrant, and it's literally from the same author. But he literally says that he says you got to find your purpose, not your profession.
Yeah,
Your purpose, like your purpose is something that literally you would die for. Like literally, like bro, I have to do this. The Most High, that little voice been speaking to me. This is what my heart, like I can do this every day and not get paid for it type deal.
Right.
Yeah. Something that you keep waking up and you keep thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Like when God puts something in your head, that idea that you thinking, it ain't too many other people got that idea at that time.
That is true.
Jump onto it, guess what he gonna do? Go get it to somebody else. And if you don't want to tap into it there, he'll let somebody else tap into it. And you can watch them something that you like, dang, bro, I was thinking about that a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's scripture. Scripture say
anybody else, I know that these joints, we started at 6:30, not to cut y'all off. I know I'm getting but we're gonna be done tonight. We ain't gonna be on CP time because I wanted to just get everybody's feet wet. I wanted to get this over with, but I want to do this monthly, man. Like I like when I say I appreciate it, that's why I wanted it to be virtual, because we all are committed. And this is what happens when you are committed. You might be on the road, you might be here, you might be there, but we all have an immense amount of experience, a multitude amount of it, but we also have voices in the 757 and abroad. I want to continuously show our athletes, you know what I mean, especially being a 757, being a hub. I want to show them the fraternity in football. I want to show them what happens. You know, you play D1A. We ain't play D1A. We play D1AA. But now as men, it's all over. We need to help. We got to help each other. I got to depend on Mike. Mike got to depend on me. I got to depend on Zoe. Bills got to be paid at the end of the day. Careers got to be made. We have to have financial literacy. We have to have emotional intelligence. We have to have support systems and councils. Use a quick example today before we get up out of here, but just that mental mile. If something's going on between Zoe and I, you have to pick who's gonna be your counsel, but somebody that can talk you off the ledge, bro. Somebody that can talk you off the ledge. Don't let no female, don't let no domestic violence, don't let something that if it ain't gonna matter in 5 years, don't spend 5 minutes on it, bro.
That is
literally, like, bro, we have to have that emotional intelligence. So
And the
I'm
real,
gonna shut up, but I just wanted to thank
bro,
everybody.
hey, but bro, the realness of it is, did we walk a minimum amount today, bro? Did we walk one?
Yes, we did. Yes,
Did I
we
have to
rolled
call
one and walked one.
Did I have to call you, bro? I had to call you for that minimum amount, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes,
And
indeed.
it's a backstory to that, but we're not gonna get into all that tonight.
No, nobody,
we can
ain't
keep
nobody
talking
over here
back in all day.
Nobody bigger than the program. Nobody bigger than the program. So everything we preach, we gotta practice.
Right.
Yes.
So if nobody else has
my turn to
nothing,
give
like
flowers.
I said,
I want to give my flowers out.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead. I'm gonna
Let me give my flowers out. I know we're wrapping up. TJ, to the parents, thank you all so much.
Yes. Thank you so much for showing up.
It's a blessing, Mr.
Thank
Obama. Thank you, Mr. Larry Obama, a legend. He's so humble. So all you gotta do, just Google him. Google him if y'all don't know about Mr. Larry Obama.
Right.
Tyson. I know we met off of them, but we're connected forever, bro. Like, thank you for showing up and continue to lead the way, man. I appreciate you, brother. Pops, thank you for leading the call, man, and
No problem. Anytime.
making it fun, bro. I appreciate you making it fun. Coach James, you already know. Behold the green and gold. I know you want to be a Nah, for real though, brother. Appreciate it. One band, one sound. Kendall, thank you so much, man. Leaders Only Show. We'll plug that later. But Kendall, thank you for sharing your story, your transparency, man. It means a lot, and the young people need to hear it. So keep going, bro.
No problem.
Nice to meet you, bro. Thank you so much for continue to show people that it's possible and having a plan once you make that exit out of the league. Thank you for just showing people that it's important to have a plan after the league, and continue to show that it's possible. And last but not least, my brother Cali, Samaj, thank you for just being you, bro. Just being consistent. I see you driving back, man. People don't understand that you drive down every week for Spotsylvania traffic, whatever. One thing about you, bro, if you say you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it, and that means a lot, man. You lead by example, bro. So I appreciate all y'all. I'm gonna let Pops wrap it up officially, though.
All right. So
Hey, before you,
all right, go ahead.
Before you do, Pops, hold on. Let me just say one thing, man. It's a blessing to be in a situation like this. Everybody know me, man. I don't like to be called no legend or none of that because of the things in my past wasn't for the right thing. But now, young brother, because I always bring the attention back to you, TJ, because you the highlight of the room, brother. You the one that's gonna follow up after us. We trying to, you know what I mean? We depending on you, brother. All right. So your integrity holds strong, man. That means a lot. So try to keep your integrity first in front, man, because you got to represent not only Green Run, not only your parents, not only your brand, but God is always looking at you, brother.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
All right? God is always looking at you, man. If nobody else recognize you, God gonna recognize you, brother.
Amen.
All right,
sir.
Hey, Pops, I love you, man. I'm glad to see you. I see you got some dreads, man.
Yeah,
I see you got them locks. All right.
I got dreads and grays.
And always Miss Hyde and Coach Hyde, man. I love y'all, man. I know it's crazy that I'm in the 757, but I work so much, man. But I'm making my mission. Oh man, you know I'm about to get back in there. It's the summertime. This my weather here.
Yes. And before we go, the last thing before we go, man, thank you to our production crew, man, who was able to get this Zoom straight to the YouTube. So we've been able to be on YouTube. We will be able to share the link and everything, man. But like everybody said, man, I just appreciate the Leaders Only team. Everybody just contributing, bro, because that's what it takes. It take a village to be great, bro.
Yeah.
You can be good on your dolo, but it take a village, you know what I'm saying? So thank you. And TJ, thank you for breaking the mold. This is a big season. This is a big season for him. He's coming off an injury, you know what I'm saying? The young man is a great kid, you know what I'm saying? And he's somebody who we lean on where you ain't gotta say too much, you know what I'm saying? When the joking and the bickering is going on, he one of them people you could look at. Pitbull, one of them people you could look at. CJ, so thank you to DC for being up here. I hope you took that in, TJ, because you deserve one of them internships. If he throwing out internships, we going to get one of them internships. But
Most
definitely.
that's
For sure.
yeah, that's the power though, bro.
For sure.
Yeah. That's the power of this beautiful game of sports, and just in the connections that you make, bro. When you get our age, you can lean on your brothers. You know what I'm saying? You can put that call in. Yo, I got 3 down here.
Yeah.
Give them a look.
TJ, we're gonna call your ride. Don't text to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The blessing, man.
Pops, close us out. Pops, close us out in a formal way, man, so we can get
All
out of here. I
right.
will keep each and every person abreast for the next one. So if you down, please just let me know, and I'll
Please
keep
do.
you on board.
Yeah, and I might
Everybody
got
else,
some
if you
other-
got
I might
anything,
got
if you
some
want,
other people too.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I
So
sent some invites out to the Rue Bottoms family. So you have some more athletes and stuff coming in too. Austin Walker. I think you know Austin, don't you, TJ? You heard of Austin Walker? The basketball star from what's that? He go to one of them Catholic schools, but he going to a school in Philly, LaSalle. He committed to LaSalle.
Yeah, Ashton.
Okay.
It's Ashton Walker.
Yeah.
Ashton.
Yeah,
Ashton.
Ashton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from Bishop.
Light
He's from
skin.
Bishop Sutherland.
This is
Yup.
oh, so he got Catholic.
Yeah,
He in a Catholic school.
He's a
Okay.
4-star, 5-star basketball.
He a four.
His mom,
Yeah,
his
four.
mom, his mom and Mrs. Hyde, they work together, so we know him for a while.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
dope.
then he know. Oh, okay, you know Shanita. I mean, Derek's wife. Yeah, that's a fact. But he a good kid, man. We got a couple people coming on. We got a gymnastics star. That's one of the Rue Bottoms. But he connected to that family, so yeah, man. So keep doing your thing, brother. Like I said, I can't commend you enough, man, because my brother is a hard boy. I tell you, somebody's a tough turkey to mess with, boy. So he gonna be on you, man. But he's a realist, man. And the main thing you want to get out of this situation, because all these men that's on here, they giving you what people don't give you. You know, the real. We just like you, bro. We look just like you, bro. I'm tatted up, but I can fit in any room.
Mhm.
All right. Just know that. All right.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all again, man, for having me, man. I gotta go,
No,
man. My wife, my girl is on my
It's
back.
all good, man. Pop's gonna take us out.
All right.
Take us
So
out of here, Pops,
Take us out. I
please.
want to see.
All
I want to
right.
hear this.
So listen, please don't mind the car alarm noise. I live in Brooklyn, so that's all you're gonna hear is a bunch of it's gonna be a bunch of noise streets. But first and foremost, I want to thank everybody, for showing up tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Secondly, this will be monthly, and lastly, whatever email address, social media handle you have, send it to Coach Callie so we can follow each other and just interact with one another. But besides that, peace. Everyone have a great night.
Thank you.
Have a great night, y'all. Peace and blessings.
night.
Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate it.
All right, now.
Got you. All right.